We've ranked the deaths from Final Destinations 1 to 3, and today we'll be discussing the Final Destination. And this was the first Final Destination movie to be released in 3D, so I thought it would be appropriate to dress accordingly. It's very hard to see right now, plus this is going to get messed up in the edit. I'm not sure how old my audience generally is, but do you remember going to the cinema to watch a movie in 3D and it's in fucking blue and red? Like, oh yeah, this is the perfect way to watch a movie. Without further ado, let's look at the Final Destination and see how good its deaths are. We begin with arguably the best thing about this movie, and that is the opening song by Shinedown. It's not Diamond Eyes or Enemies, but I'll take it. We meet our main character, protagonist Nick, his girlfriend Laurie, their friend Janet, and Hunt, who is a bit of a prick.
You come here hoping to see a crash?
Of course it's to see a crash.
You're sick, Hunt.
I'm sorry, what did you call him?
You're sick, Hunt.
Oh, okay, I guess that's his name now. We then meet the victims of this movie's opening premonition, and I'm going to be referring to them by the names given in the credits. We have Mechanic, Mechanic's girlfriend, MILF, MILF's husband, Kid number 1 and Kid number 2, George. Wait, why does he get a name? Cowboy, Racist. Oh look, he even has an Elon Musk tattoo. And Racist's wife. They do have real names, which is confusing why they've given these nicknames in the credits, but I'm just going to be referring to them by the nicknames because in these tier list videos, I've just been having fun giving them not the real names. A gust of wind blows through the speedway, and, like the wind, it came here running and knocks over a bottle of motor oil, which spills into the pit lane. One of the race cars drives through the oil and... Wait, was that a fucking dolphin? Excuse me for a second. Anyway, after a dolphin invades the track, we then have to take this movie seriously as we see bolts unscrewing on their own. Oh, this movie sucks, by the way. I don't know if that was clear. After a screwdriver falls out of the car and onto the track, one of the other race cars drives over it and shenanigans ensue. Some shitty CG tires fly right into the crowd and smack Mechanic's girlfriend right in the face. I think her 3D glasses worked a little bit too well. Mechanic falls onto a wooden spike and it looks like garbage. And an explosion causes the engine to be launched from under the hood straight into the back of Frankie's head. Wait, no, I did it again! It turns out though, that was just a premonition because protagonist Nick was so bored during this movie he started daydreaming. Also, I'm not sure if you saw the video going around online of all the characters reacting to their premonitions. You've got Alex like covered in sweat, you've got Mary Elizabeth Winstead crying because she's a phenomenal actress, and then you cut to Nick and he's just like he's just so bored, he's the only one that reacts and just doesn't give a shit. And what's funny is that he has a really good one later in the movie, but it's just the one at the start. He just gives it, like, no reaction. I mean, to be fair though, this is all of our reactions watching Final Destination 4, so I can't blame him. As protagonist Nick is explaining the premonition to his friend, he gets into a scuffle with Mechanic and bumps into Racist, and a large group of people leave the speedway. Another scuffle breaks out, and a tire flies out of the stadium and cross-maps Mechanic's girlfriend. Okay, so just to start off with, the tire looks like shit. I think we can all agree on that. I also don't know why it like flies out of the stadium and like curves and hits her. But with that being said, I really like the surprise of her death, and I like the final shot of her like twitching. It's really graphic. This death I feel is also one of the most like in-your-face deaths after the premonitions. Like with the plane explosion in the first one, it's very far away, you just can't really see any of it. The highway explosions, it's a medium shot so it's kind of good and you see a lot of the explosions in that, but you don't really see much of the death itself. Even with Kimberly and her friends, the truck just hits it and it explodes, you don't really see a lot of it. And the roller coaster in the third one, everyone just kind of like falls off screen. Actually, not even everyone, you just see like one of the coasters fall and you just hear everyone screaming. So I'll put this one in B tier. I really like the fact also that her death is the exact same as it is in the premonition, kind of solidifying the theme of these movies that you just can't escape your fate. And I think the effect is also really good, minus the tire, that's kind of why it pushes down a bit, but B tier, I really like this one. After that, we have a pretty cool X-ray vision montage, letting us reminisce on the deaths from the previous and better movies. Protagonist Nick and his friends go to a coffee shop named Death by Caffeine. Ooh, ominous. and protagonist Nick sees the words "It's coming" scratched into the table. Ooh, also ominous. At 2 AM in the morning, Racist decides to visit George, the security guard's house. How does he know where he lives? I don't know, stop asking questions. No, but seriously, how does he know where he lives? He has only met him like twice, and one of those times he called him the N-word, so I doubt George was just giving his address to this guy. Once George goes to sleep, Racist gets out of his truck and starts digging a hole to put a cross in the front of George's lawn, because if you couldn't tell, he's a racist piece of shit. Despite having all of the windows up, there is a gust of wind inside the truck and, like the wind, it came here running and knocked some stuff over and begins to drive on its own, which causes a jerry can to fall over and begins pouring petrol all over the road. The hook from the back of the truck gets caught on Racist's pants and begins dragging him down the road, and the sparks from the chain scraping on the road causes the petrol to ignite and burns Racist alive in a very cool practical effect. The truck then blows up and Racist's head somehow gets detached from his body and lands in the front of George's yard. So this one's a bit hit or miss for me. I really don't like the fact that the wind happens inside of the car while the windows are rolled up. Like, it makes a point to show that the windows are up. If the windows were down, sure, have all the wind you want, but I think it's a bit too stupid. I like the fact that the petrol is ignited by the sparks of the chain. I think that that could happen, and for the most part, I think that they shot it practically. So yeah, anytime that they do like a real fire stunt or a real practical effect, I really like it, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. But a Nazi did die, so A tier. Our main characters find out about Racist's death, and protagonist Nick has another shitty vision. It's a bit of a running thing where throughout the movie, protagonist Nick will just suddenly have another vision, but it's all done with these weird CG renders to show off the 3D, but it all looks very dated where everything's like, whoa, like right in front of the camera. It doesn't look good. Also, just to mention, these visions are never helpful. They never actually stop anyone from dying, spoiler alert, but he'll have a vision of like a red door and he'll be like, whoa, what's that mean? And then like after the person has died, he sees the red door and he's like, whoa! And it's like, dude, that really isn't helpful. And it's also just not interesting from the point of view of the audience. Like in one of the visions, you see a snake and you're like, oh shit, is someone gonna get killed by a snake? And then you see how it ties into the death and you're like, ah. Later that day, MILF decides to get a haircut and a pedicure, which not only helps to build tension as they scrape under her toenail, but it also gives her some photos to add to her wiki feed. I'm not even kidding. A nearby bottle of conditioner falls onto some body butter, making it come. There are about 4 things that are set up to kill her, and none of them do, which you could either say is a good subversion of expectations, or a waste of tension. As she's scolding her kids 1 and 2, the lawnmower rider drives over a rock and sends it straight through her eye. Holy shit! I actually don't hate this one. I really like how it keeps in the theme of the freak accident where it very easily could happen. So for that fact alone, I'm gonna put it in B tier. I really like how just sudden it is. Also, the sound design on this death I think is really good. It just adds so much more to the impact. I feel like it's a little bit too simple to add it to like an A or an S tier, so I'm comfortable with putting it in B. Protagonists Nick and Laurie have the classic conversation in these movies where they let everyone know they're in a Final Destination movie, but this time, it's in 3D, so it looks like garbage. Janet and Cunt don't believe them despite having 3 movies worth of evidence and they leave. Also, yes, I am going to be referring to him as Cunt because that's how Janet referred to him at the start of the movie. Nick has a vision that Mechanic is going to die, so they go to visit him. Damn, it's been like 2 days since his girlfriend died. I doubt that he's going to be back at work already. Oh, he's back at work.
I'm trying to put my life back together, okay?
Put your life back together? What do you mean? It hasn't even been a week yet. Dude's just gone through the 5 stages of grief. Acceptance, 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 acceptance. Meanwhile, a wild van has gotten loose and is heading straight for him. It stops just before crushing him. But as he's walking away, an acetylene tank goes flying and slams into him. It pushes him right into the metal fence and somehow removes all of his bones in the process. So I'll put this one in C tier. I do honestly like the final shot of you like seeing the hole in his chest and the characters are like, dude, you okay? I don't think so, he's got a fucking hole in his chest, but also the only way for that to be possible is if all of his bones and like ribcage are removed, so I don't know if it's really worth it for the final shot to just defy all logic and be like, oh nah, he was made of gummy the entire time, so I'll put it in C tier, but like a C minus, like a low C tier. After that, we see what cunt is doing, and oh, he's having sex with a woman appropriately named Girl on Top. After cunt finishes, he goes for a walk and is shot in the face with a water pistol. So, I'll put that one in S tier. No, I'm kidding. That's not how he dies. His death is actually, surprisingly, stupider than that though. He does, however, pop the inflatable that the kid is sitting on and pushes him into the water, and we never see the kid again, so I'm just gonna assume he died. C tier. He's playing with his lucky coin but accidentally drops it and it rolls into the pool. While he swims down to retrieve it, his ass gets sucked into the drain and he gets stuck. I don't know how he managed to get stuck ass first, like was he trying to pick the coin up with his cheeks? The pool keeps sucking and sucking, much like this movie, until we get a POV shot from inside his hunt and his guts get pulled through the drainage. Oh my god, what the fuck? This death is just bizarre. I don't know where to rank it. It's just that it's so dumb and so weird of a concept that it actually comes full circle and you can laugh at it in every way possible. So because of the joy that it's given me from hating on this, I'm gonna give it an A. After Cunt's death, our main characters celebrate with some champagne. Whoa! I bet that looked really cool in 3D. Hang on, I just saw it in 3D and I can tell you that it still looks like shit. While they're celebrating though, protagonist Nick has another flashback, this time of a spooky snake, and he realizes that the character credited Cowboy is still alive and is next to die. Now, as an Australian, I would read this line as, I've been calling her all afternoon and she's not picking up her phone. And an American would say, I've been calling her all afternoon and she's not picking up her phone. Protagonist Nick, however, somehow does both.
Where's Lori? I've been calling and texting all afternoon. She's not picking up her phone.
I don't even know why, because the actor's not Australian, so he just somehow accidentally nails the Australian accent.
I've been calling and texting all afternoon. She's not picking up her phone.
Meanwhile, in the room above Cowboy, a racist old man is about to have a bath, but it overflows and begins dripping water on Cowboy. Cowboy crawls out of his bed, and instead of trying to get out the door, he decides to just crawl to the other side of the wall for whatever reason, which is really good though because it was directly under the bath, which falls down and squishes him.
Little man got squished.
Overall, this is such a forgettable death, it's no one's favourite, and they just revealed the character to be alive just to instantly kill him, so D tier. Protagonists Nick and George make their way back and discuss their plans for the future. George says, I'm too cool for this, I'll see you in the sequel, and is hit by an ambulance. Protagonist Nick realizes that this means Laurie and Janet are next to die and he goes to the mall to save them. Meanwhile, some sawdust has caught fire and is making its way to some highly flammable barrels. Protagonist Nick convinces Laurie to leave the movie, but Janet is insistent on staying. The barrels catch fire and the cinema explodes in a pretty fun way, which is perfectly timed to the movie that they're watching. Protagonist Nick and Laurie escape down the escalator, but it collapses and exposes the gears below. Laurie forgets to 1-2 buckle her shoe and gets her foot caught in the mechanism in honestly a very cool effect. I really like the setup where they can't really avoid it as the escalator is like slowly feeding them into the gears. Just as Laurie is eaten by the escalator, we zoom out to Ellis Cullen from the Twilight Saga, showing protagonist Nick a sneak peek of the final act of this movie.
That's your future.
That's right, all of the stuff that happened in the mall was just another one of Nick's premonitions, and it wasn't even one of the shitty 3D CGI ones, so he upgraded to some actual footage. When protagonist Nick comes back, we hear George getting hit by the ambulance off-screen. So I'll judge this one as a bit of both, whether it's the off-screen canon version and the on-screen premonition version. The off-screen one is like a D tier. I hate all of the off-screen deaths. Actually, the off-screen one would be an E tier, because I think every off-screen death that I've had is an E tier. So E tier for the off-screen death, but then it kind of gets pushed up a little bit by the on-screen death, even though it's not real and it's not really how it happens. It kind of is. So, because also it's a D is the reason because it's a wide shot of the character crossing the street and the camera is like on a tripod. If you've seen a movie, that's exactly how people get hit by cars. It's just so predictable if you've seen more than one movie. So all of the surprise is really gone in that death, so bumps it up to a D tier. So it's not great. And also you see the snake and you're like, ah, that's what the snake was for. He didn't die by a snake, so whatever, but yeah, D tier. Protagonist Nick prevents the barrels from exploding and saves the day. The group go out for drinks to celebrate and protagonist Nick orders this very delicious looking milkshake.
Yeah, but it tastes totally disgusting.
You shut your fucking mouth, that looks delicious. He starts seeing signs of danger again, like the table previously having the words "it's coming" scratched into it, now saying "I'm coming." They all realize they're not going to be in the sequel as a truck comes smashing through the window, and we're treated to what I feel is a really cool sequence. The characters are all brutally contorted in the X-ray filter from the start of the movie, and I really dig it. It's stylish, it's different, and honestly, probably better than anything they could have done in live action, so A tier. So, there we have it. That is my tier list video for Final Destination 4. It's actually a lot higher rated than I thought it would be. I think all of them were going to be like D and F tiers, but no, surprisingly we've got some A's and B's and stuff like that in there. So yeah, I think the movie itself is dog shit, but the deaths themselves are less so. So like isolated deaths in these movies, yeah, I think that they're a lot higher rated than, you know, the movie that it's kind of in. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for your patience as well. It took about a month for in between like the Final Destination 2 and 3 videos to be made, and this one's looking to be about 2 months in between 3 and 4, so I apologize for the time that it takes for these videos to be made, but just let it be known, these videos do take a lot of time to make. I'm not just like not paying attention to them. Whether it be the script writing or the editing, it just takes so long for these videos to be made. And I am also script writing for other videos, so it's not like I'm focusing all of my time on the Final Destination videos. I've got a lot of other videos that I've scripted for, and I am going to be doing tier list videos for Final Destinations 5 and Bloodlines, so stay tuned for those. They're going to be about released in 2029, I think. I'm kidding. Not really kidding. These videos take a while, and I apologize for that, but I do thank you for your patience and for your kind words when the videos do come out. So thank you all so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next tier list video and the next video. See you later.